end of time.
There will be great earthquakes. The crustal displacement will break up the crustal portion of Earth.
Recovery efforts after back-to-back record-setting earthquakes damaged massive areas in the community of Ridgecrest. Gas lines burst in the 6.4 and 7.1 quakes. Homes and businesses were damaged, and the naval base in China Lake was also heavily hit.
After the earthquakes and thousands of aftershocks, the naval base was deemed to be temporarily non-operational. 23 ABC's Danielle Garrido in China Lake today, getting a first-hand look at all the destruction.
The Naval Air Weapons China Lake Station sits on the two faults that shifted last week, causing those 6.4 and 7.1 magnitude earthquakes. But what makes these back-to-back earthquakes unique is that the epicenter of that initial quake happened at the intersection of those two faults, causing severe damage to this naval base, a town within a town.
It's a stoppage in time. It's a snapshot in time post 7.1 magnitude earthquake.
An elementary school, a commissary, and a chapel loved by the community, standing still in time as the base jolted after last week's earthquakes.
We're just inside of about 120 hours since the earthquake on the 4th of July. And when that occurred, we went into response mode. We were just coming out of the response mode from that and getting into reconstitution, the phase 2, when we got hit by the 7.1. And it was like starting all over again.
On average, 10,000 people can be seen on the naval base. Today, about 650 people roamed the base looking for destruction since its closure after the initial earthquake.
You know, typically on a day like today, you would see a lot of traffic on the roads, people going to and from their different activities and duties. Mainly what you see now is construction vehicles, first responder vehicles, security vehicles.
Though few buildings have external damage, you can see cracks on the outside of this chapel, now currently red tagged, making it an unsafe structure.
All the statuary was broken and smashed in pieces, all the religious statuary that's in there.
The altar of the chapel that usually sees about 1,500 people every week in shambles.
It's going to be some source of distress for a lot of people because this is a beloved chapel here on base.
Books on the ground at Richmond Elementary, right next to where students would normally sit on any regular school day, causing pressure to make sure it's safe again for those 500 students to return.
But we must be ready in 6 weeks, one way or another, and we will.
The commissary staff cleaning up aisles for the second time.
We would have been able to service customers the next day if the 7.1 had happened. We were well on our way to getting back and operational.
The naval base hopes sharing this destruction will keep them on everyone's mind long after they've assessed all the damage and may need some additional help. In Ridgecrest, Daniela Garrido, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
Today, 25 April 2015, earthquake in Nepal.
In April 2015, I got a message from the HR. So why did I get that message? I planned to go to Nepal in 2015 for a vacation, for yoga and relaxation. And after 2 days, there was a huge earthquake. Almost 9,000 people died and 22,000 people injured. So as soon as the HR knew that I was in Nepal, they sent me a message to help me to get out of Nepal. They tried to do everything to help me to get out of Nepal. The earthquake was so huge. I was so afraid. And when I got that message, I felt hope. And I felt that people are thinking about me. When the earthquake happened, I was in my room. It was almost 11 a.m. in the morning, and I felt a headache, like a headache, and my head was going to explode. So suddenly I woke up and I felt like everything was moving around, and I said, oh my God, this headache is very big. Actually, it wasn't a headache, it was an earthquake. And when I realized that it was an earthquake, in seconds, I just get up off my place and ran to the door and tried to open the door, and the door wasn't opening because the earthquake it was so huge that the door was going like this, and I couldn't open the door. And when I tried to open the door, I stopped breathing. Literally, I stopped breathing. I cannot explain how fearful it is and how huge this event is, because I couldn't breathe. I was like, it's finished, my life is finished. And then suddenly I heard my mother's voice saying, "Child, don't be afraid, everything will be fine." The moment I heard my mother's voice, I came back to life. And I saw in front of me, everyone is running, screaming, and there was a huge swimming pool in front of me, and as if someone did step the swimming pool, and the water went like up 3 or 4 floors. And I didn't know what to do. I ran with everyone. I was running with them, and I was so scared, and the earth was trembling, and I don't know where to go. It was this feeling, I never had it in my life, especially that I did leave the war for 15 years in Lebanon, but I didn't feel like this, that my life did end, and the earth will open, and I will disappear in just the fraction of a second. Until now, when I remember, I just feel like I want to cry. So this is what happened. And as soon as the HR in MBC knew about me being in Nepal, the earthquake, they sent a message, as I told you, and they tried to help me to get out of Nepal. So I would never forget, because it was a hope for me. When I came back, I had my friends in the morning show, and when I saw them, I cried. I literally cried and crushed. So I felt like alive again, and I said, I will never think about negative things. I will help myself, because as if I was born again, because God gave me a new life, and I was born again. I was a person, when I was in the gallery, I would scream, get angry fast, and make people around me sad. Now that I learned all these things, the moment I began to realize that I'm making people around me sad by being angry and screaming, I stopped screaming, and I realized when my energy did change, and I understand people around me did change. My perspective in my mind's eye did change, and when this did change, everything around me did change.